At graduation, you're thinking about everything that's happened in the past 4 years.
I think I'm really gonna miss my friends.
I'm gonna cry my eyes out on my graduation day. We've been best friends for 4 years.
It's just yesterday, I feel like, I was a freshman.
If I didn't have my friends, I don't know what I would do.
Stitches in Time by Jamali, May 30th, 2012 at Ming Chuan University graduation. Daja How, I'm truly honored to have the opportunity to be one of the last persons to share some parting words before we cross our tassel. Truth be told, I had mixed feelings and almost declined when I was first asked to speak at this event. Many of you may know that I have been a little more than outspoken about some aspects of our university experience, so affording me the proverbial last word involves some risk to me, you, and our university. Despite my initial apprehension, the reason you see me before you now is simple. The events of the past 4 years, the triumphs and the trials, will undoubtedly leave a lasting impression on our lives, and to have the privilege to mark this milestone is not one to be squandered. Once upon a time, during our sophomore year, we had a course on international relations. I hope we haven't already forgotten. What was special about that course was that it was one of the few in which all three departments, International Business Management, International Trade and Management, and Journalism and Mass Communication, shared a single classroom. One of the readings for that course was Niccolo Machiavelli's political treatise, The Prince. In light of the theme of tonight's event, Princes and Princesses, I would like to borrow an idea from that book to form the basis of my remarks. In chapter 17, Machiavelli addresses the question of whether it is better to be loved or feared. He concludes, the answer is that one would like to be both, the one and the other, but because it is difficult to combine them, it is far safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. By the time I step down, you would be able to decide for yourselves if I am loved, feared, or if at all possible, both. Over the past 4 years, we have witnessed this idea of somewhat opposing experiences. On a personal level, some of us entered as adolescents, but we will all leave as adults, more matured in our thinking and actions. We entered as students, but we leave having had the opportunity to teach about our individual countries of origin, distinct languages, and multifaceted cultures. We entered as strangers from all corners of the world that before seemed abstract and distant, but we leave as more than friends, united together in a common bond made possible by our unique international college experience. These changes in our lives, while cherished, did not come without loss or sacrifice. 4 years ago, we left the comfort of our families, friends, and familiar surroundings to embark on this journey. 4 years later, we prepare to return, not only having been changed, but also to readjust ourselves to changed circumstances. Some of those we left at home have since moved on to other friends, on to other places, and, for better or for worse, even on to eternity. It would be a challenge for us to return and face this new reality. But if the experiences of the past 4 years have taught us anything, it should be this simple fact. If we are faced with any challenge, with strong faith, a loving and supportive family, good and honest friends coupled with patience, persistence, and proper application of knowledge, which we like to call wisdom, we can accomplish great things. While this occasion is about us, we should not neglect to pause for a moment of existential reflection, putting things into a wider perspective so we could see our place and purpose as part of our global community. Over the past 4 years, our planet has seen its share of ups and downs, thrills and oil spills. Some we would have never thought possible during our own lifetime, much less 4 short years. In November 2008, we had front row seats to see a nation still scarred with centuries of racial inequality elect its first black president. During the recent events of the Arab Spring, we witnessed a region's move towards democracy after decades of dictatorship. We even saw the brief yet powerful shift in global attention toward the rescue and recovery of 33 miners trapped underground for 69 days. Still, our optimism towards the last 4 years ought to be tempered by reflections on some events that would be remembered as a dark moment in time. Lest we forget, I recall specifically the 789 soul cost of Typhoon Morakot that affected Taiwan in August 2009, the 316,000 lives that were lost as a result of the January 2010 earthquake in Haiti, and last year's Tohoku earthquake off the coast of Japan that in its wake left almost 16,000 dead, 27,000 injured, and over 3,000 people missing. As we look back on these events of the past 4 years, both personal and global, with smiles and with cries, with cheers and with tears, I want us to understand that each represents but a single stitch in time. We are indeed blessed to still be here. Likewise, as we look forward into an uncertain future, it is incumbent upon us to seize this opportunity to make our own stitches in time. While now we may want to look back at the past 4 years as the best years of our lives, with the relationships we have developed and the knowledge we have acquired, it is my hope that we would resist that urge, not because we should forget the experiences, but because if they are indeed our best years, then we have precious little to look forward to. Rather, as we kindle the all too soon fading memories of the past 4 years we spent together, let us commit ourselves to make use of our relationships and our education by applying them towards making the world a better place. Only then would the fabric of our lives, our countries, and our world truly benefit from the passionate contribution of our individual stitches in time. Finally, if you know me well enough, you will know that I cannot leave without offering my own one more thing. As this is likely my last presentation before you, it is actually my one last thing. It comes from a book greater than all our textbooks and gives an education greater than any other. It reads, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace." Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. Princes and princesses, it's up to us to make real this fairy tale because this is our time. I hope that with these words, we, the class of 2012, who came together once upon a time and made our own stitches in time, will be remembered for a lifetime. Thank you all very much. Ish, ish, ish.